So good morning to you all. It is a special Careers Assembly today, and I'm very grateful to Mrs. Barham, who will be leading it as our Careers Coordinator. But before we do so, I have some photographs to share with you. So the first one is of a former pupil. So Cora Jarman, that's her married name. She was Nay Pounds was her name when she was here. She was a Talbot Heath pupil and she joined in 1943. And this is a photograph of me meeting Cora with Celia Wood, who's our alumni secretary, Thoga secretary. And we went to speak to her and meet her. And very sadly, Cora has passed away. She leaves behind her husband, Philip. Philip is 99. He's great fun, Philip. And 3 children and 2 grandchildren. And she was a pupil here at Talbot Heath from 1938 to 1944. But I have spoken about Cora before because she had a remarkable life. During the Second World War, she spent time in the Wrens working at Bletchley Park as a code breaker. So there is a photograph of Cora, and she worked at Bletchley as part of the code breaking team between 1944 and 1948. And her story is a fascinating one. There's one with her friends up at Trafalgar Square in 1944. And she was featured in this book, The Bletchley Girls, and they made it into a television series as well, The Bletchley Girls. There's a whole chapter in here about Cora, and I'll make sure we've got this in the library. You should read about her. She was someone who signed up to join the Navy. She did lie about her age, and I'm not advocating that, but she wanted to sneak in. So she said she was 18 when she was only 17. And because Talbot Heath girls had a reputation for having a good work ethic and they wouldn't gossip or share secrets, many of them ended up being sent to Bletchley to work on the top secret code-breaking mission, the Enigma Machine, the code-breaking machine. That was part of her role. And her husband, Philip, unbeknownst to her, was tasked with taking an Enigma machine secretly into what was then called Burma in the Second World War. And they only found out 30 years into their marriage when they both revealed, because they'd been sworn to secrecy. So we send much love to Cora's family, to Philip and all the children and grandchildren. She was a wonderful lady. It was an absolute privilege for me to spend time with her and hear her story. And I think she's perfect material. I'm just putting it out there for the drama department and any drama students, perfect material for a devised piece, a really interesting story. So we will send that, all our love to her family. Now I have some more photographs. The next one, we had very exciting news came through just before the start of the governor's meeting. Our under-16 netball team, they headed all the way up to North Norfolk, to Sandringham yesterday, to take part in the semi-final of the national netball competition against Sandringham School. And it was a tight match and they had to play really well. And they won the semi-final, 35 goals to 33. And B. Faulkner gets a special mention, I think perhaps goal shooting there, but they are now through to the national final for netball. They are one of the top 2 teams in the whole of the UK, and they're playing to win the national netball tournament, which is absolutely phenomenal. So can we give them a huge round of applause? Well done, netballers. Very proud of you, fantastic. And the next photograph I have is of our football team. So this is our under-13 football team, and there was a football tournament yesterday at Littledown. And it was the first round of the county tournament, and the pupils had a really great afternoon. They had some tough opposition in their first 3 matches. So they lost initially to BSG, to Bourne School and Bishop of Winchester, really physical matches. But they had then 3 great wins against the Grange, BCS and Avonbourne. Both Amelia and Daisy scored hat-tricks in their matches, and all girls were growing in confidence with every match. A fantastic team effort from our footballers. Can we give them a round of applause? Great. Right, I'm going to hand over to Mrs. Barham for her assembly. Good morning, everyone. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to be here, and I have to say I'm very excited to be in Anne Harrod's, Mrs. Holloway's hot seat today. Now, this week is National Careers Week. It's a really exciting week for many, many students in the country because they don't have careers provision in school, and it's a week where, well, they invented it about 11 years ago, and it's a chance for schools and colleges to embed some careers education into the to the curriculum. Now, obviously at Talbot Heath, we are so lucky because we have a careers programme right from year 7, but it's a really lovely opportunity to show you some extra events. Now, I'd like to start off with a short video, and the theme of National Careers Week since COVID has been about hope. And I'd like to play this video for you. Now, it is a poem, so I'd like you to listen and watch the words. It's absolutely beautiful. So if we can just play that video.
People like to talk about hope like it's a gamble, a long shot, setting yourself up for an even bigger fall. Too many believe it's better not to try. Start the game with no hope at all. After all, if you expect nothing from life, then how can it ever disappoint? And if things haven't gone in your favour up to this point, then hope seems like a hopeless remedy. At times it feels like hope is the enemy. You see, it's hard to exist within a system that's allowing current wisdom to have our youth believe that they have to dim their vision, not build a sense of mission and let fear guide their decisions. But a mind without hope is a mind that's been imprisoned. But what if hope is the magic touch, the life hack, the weight that tips the scale 10% in your favour? Maybe hope is the motivator, telling you you're not quite there now, but you'll get there later. Maybe it's not hope, but actually doubt that's the traitor, stealing us from our most adventurous thoughts and our wildest dreams, projecting our whole future based solely on our current means. You see, I believe in a generation of hope, where our general perception of the world is that it will only get better, that the sky is the limit, that the world's full of boundless opportunities and we have the right to everything within it. I want this generation to hope, to desire, to expect that their life will move in an upwards direction, to allow the thought of progress to overpower the fear of rejection, to stop stories of the past defining stories of the future. And if you've never allowed yourself to hope, then today's the time to begin. Remember that you hold the power and that hope starts within.
I absolutely love that. Actually, it brought me to tears the first time I saw it. Now, you're probably thinking, some of you today, is that careers are a long, long way off, and you know, how is it relevant to me? But actually, your journey starts here. Your journey starts actually the minute you come into Talbot Heath, but certainly into the senior school. And so I'd like to talk through some of the steps along your journey. So, your career's already started. So when you choose GCSE, you're actually choosing some options. Some doors are closing, but you're also opening other doors. And you will then move through your school career. You'll take your GCSEs. You will then choose A-levels or equivalent. And then you will then decide you might take an apprenticeship. You might go to university, and eventually you will end up in the world of work. Now, your career is all of those things. So actually your career is your life journey, and you're on your life journey. So careers are relevant to every single one of us, from year upper 3 right through to all of us in the school, including teachers. Now, the other part of your career is actually your extracurricular hobbies. And you know, Talbot Heath is so amazing. The sports that we've just heard about from Mrs. Holloway, the drama that we have, the you know, the charity weeks, everything that we do is also part of your career. That's giving you life experiences, and also work experience, which I'll come on to in a moment. So work experience also gives you that extra part of your journey. Now, competition. There is a lot of competition in today's job market. Now, in 1992, there was 984,000 people in higher education, and that has risen to 2.46 million students in higher education. So the competition for those jobs is increasing. Now, another fun fact is that there's been an 80% increase in first degrees in the last 8 years. So students are working harder at university than ever before. So there's more students at university and they're working harder than ever. So, you know, there's a lot of competition. There's an awful lot of competition. So let's have a look at the new world. Now, the new world, since 1991, we had something called the internet. So, so the world has changed dramatically since 1991. And many of you not remember a time without technology in their lives. Now, the world has changed so much that actually there's a really amazing fact that I heard about 4 years ago, that 80% of the jobs that you will do have not even been invented yet. And that seems quite incredible. But if you think about the apps and how the job market has changed, let me give you a couple of examples. Think about Uber and Deliveroo. Uber and Deliveroo are based on technology models, and they've completely changed the world of you know, people being able to get about safely and being able to have our Big Mac delivered to the door during COVID. So there is a massive, massive increase of technology in our world. There is £140 billion that's been added to our economy from jobs that link to technology. Now, robots won't replace us. There are huge, huge changes, and robots will not replace us. But what employers are looking for is they're looking for emotional intelligence. They're looking for human insight. They're looking for creativity. They're looking for people that will be able to control the robots. Now, over the next, probably the next 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50% of the jobs that we know now will have disappeared. They'll have been replaced by automation. And so this is such an exciting time for you to be thinking about your future. You know, the world really, really is your oyster. Now, COVID-19 was a very, very difficult time for all of us, but actually in terms of your future work experience, in terms of your opportunities now, it has massively opened up your world. So the huge positive impact of COVID is that you can now go to virtual work experience. You can go to South America and work with turtles. You can go to Thailand and be involved in all the amazing, fantastic projects. Now, so that's one huge benefit. The other one is that employers are now offering a flexible model. So before the pandemic, 5.7% of people worked remotely, and that has now become 76% of companies offer a hybrid model. Now, what does that mean to you? Well, what that means to you is that actually we need people, employers need people that are going to be flexible, adaptable, and resilient. Previously, there were 12 jobs that, previously jobs were linear. So when you left school, you might decide, I want to be an accountant, and you were trained to become an accountant, you would go to university, and then you'd stay in that job probably for the rest of your life. But the statistics are now that all of you will probably hold 12 different jobs during your lifetime, 12 different jobs. So actually, what are employers looking for? They're not actually looking, they are looking for knowledge, but they're looking for so much more. So this screen here is the sought after skills that employers are looking for. Now, any of the sixth form that have been to employability with me, any of the lower four and upper four that we've had talks in the last few months, I've talked to you about employability skills, and these are so important. So things like communication, teamwork, problem solving, adaptability, creativity, leadership, all of these skills, this is what employers are looking for. So yes, of course, they're looking for degrees, they're looking for knowledge, they're looking for GCSEs and A-levels, of course, all of that. But actually, what gives you that advantage? It's going to be your employability skills. Now, I have to say you are so lucky to be at this school because TH completely, we embody that whole ethos of employability skills. So what I want you to think about is how can I build on my how can I build on these employability skills? Now, the fantastic news is lots of you, all of you, in fact, will have many of these skills already. So I want you to think about 3 different things. I want you to think about school. So your time during school, get involved. So all of you that are involved in charity weeks, really get stuck into that. For example, the lower 4s doing their Harry Potter event next week. They are using communication, interpersonal skills, problem solving, team working, creativity. So all of those things that you do at TH, all of those are building your employability skills. Now also, without saying, extracurriculars. So some of you might do sport and drama and music, all sorts of things, volunteering outside school, and they are all such fantastic things to be doing. But obviously within TH, we also offer, the sports teams, the clubs and societies, Amnesty International, well-being, creative writing. We have so much on offer here. So what I'd really like you to take away from today is to just open your eyes to all the opportunities that TH can offer you, because all of those skills that you learn during those extracurriculars honestly will just develop you as a person. They make you more interesting as a person, and when you come to write things like CVs and personal statements, you will be right there with the best examples. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the work experience here. So the 3rd box is work experience. And many of our 6th form students, because of the pandemic, they've really had a tough time because, of course, the world shut down. But, now the world is opening back up. As I said, technology-wise, you can do all sorts of virtual work experience. Now, I've created Google Classrooms for all the years, and I'm always popping things on there. So do have a look at your careers classroom. Okay, there's a fantastic company called Investin that offer all sorts of virtual and in-face internships and work experiences that you can do in the holidays. I sent some messages last week. You can go to Oxford and Cambridge and even to Yale to do some work experience. But also, is there a part-time job? Is there a family member that you could help with? Is there a volunteering group? Surfers Against Sewage is a fantastic organisation. They're always doing things down at the beach. So if you're interested in conservation or anything to do with the sea, have a look at those volunteering opportunities. Next slide. Now, there's 4 things that you need to think about to be successful. The first one is knowledge. So, of course, school is really mega important, your GCSEs, your A-levels, and your degree, of course. And then I want you to think about the other 3 boxes. So the first one is experience. So that is building your experiences, building your extracurricular, building your employability skills. See if you can get some work experience. And the bottom 2, I'll just talk about really briefly. Network. So do use the people that you know. So if you have a family member, for example, who is see if they can let you go and do some work shadowing. See if you can have a look at some of their cases with them. So network, use the people, talk to your teachers. Maybe they've got links. Talk to me, see what links I can help you with. So you do need to network. So although networking is something that we think of about when we're older, it's never too early to start networking. And the other one is advantage. Just think about when you are applying for that fantastic job in the future, what is going to give you that advantage? So yes, knowledge, but lots of people will have that. Experience builds that success, networking, and then just think about that advantage. What can I do to set me apart? So in my previous jobs, I've had lots of HR jobs, and I've sat there with a pile of 500 CVs. And I can flick through a pile of CVs pretty quickly and see those things that stand out. So Duke of Edinburgh, an amazing, amazing thing that gives you that advantage. Next week, as part of Careers Week, although it's next week, National Careers Service is going to be coming in. So we're going to have a big launch on Tuesday assembly, like an assembly. That's going to be for upper 5 and 6th form. So again, do come to the National Citizen Service launch. All of those things will give you the advantage. Okay, so this is just a quick recap of all those things that you need to do. So how can I get experience while I'm in school? Loads and loads of websites. One of the websites that I particularly like is thinkstudent.co.uk. There's just a few things there. There's actually 40 plus work experience ideas. It says ideal for year 10 and year 12, but hey, you don't need to wait till you're in year 10. And what about year 11s? What about year 8? You know, it's never, ever too early to start just building those employability skills. So anyone that works with Cubs Brownies, babysitting, you know, straight away babysitting tells me that you're responsible, you're punctual, and you're resilient. Okay, so this week, National Careers Week, just want to highlight a few things. So there is so many things that you can look at. So last night I sent you all an invitation to the Next Steps Careers Fair. I was on there for 3 hours last night. I have to say I didn't have enough time to watch all the talks and click on all the links. But the good news is that after today, Unifog are going to put together all of those talks and they will be available. So all of those in upper 4 and above, you will have access to all of those talks. I think they said give us a couple of days and I'll tell you when you can access those. Now, all of you can click on the National Careers Week 2022 Virtual Careers Fair. There's 4 main areas. So if we can have the next slide. Now, this is obviously a very busy slide, but I just want to show you the huge breadth of links that you can access. So there's Power of Women, there's the High Performance Podcast. There's a whole section. Yesterday's National Careers Week was all about careers at sea, all sorts of things. You can go into room 4, which is information about a university, your well-being, all sorts of things, and then you can see all those other supporters of National Careers Week. So this wouldn't be available before COVID, but it is now. So do spend some time. I think this is going to be available after this week. I'll let you know, but I think it is. So click on some of these, just get some ideas on maybe some careers ideas and some kind of maybe work experience ideas as well. Okay, last slide. Sorry, I'm running over a little bit. So the other thing is National Careers Week tomorrow. I'm sure you've all heard of BBC Bite Size, but BBC Bite Size tomorrow is revamped and there is a huge careers section of BBC Bite Size. And I'm just going to play this very short video.
Oh my God, what am I doing with my life?
Fake it till you make it. Ickle bit stressful.
Be confident, admit that you might fail sometimes, and just try new things, because you'll surprise yourself.
Drama facilitator,
filmmaker,
freelance audio engineer,
music photographer, junior soldier, medical student,
Volcano guide, personal trainer, webmaker,
farmer,
paramedic,
conservation officer, freelance director, radio presenter,
solar farm manager,
nurse, games designer, science officer, waste warrior, ambulance dispatcher.
If you're writing a cover letter, compel the reader.
it needs to be short, snappy and sweet.
Explain to them why you are ideal.
Think about your motivation. What's inspired you to want to study this course?
Take the time to understand what the employer needs, then take the time to understand how you meet those skills.
As a paramedic, a high level of teamwork is required.
As a science officer, I've brought a lot of uniqueness to the role through my creativity.
I'm a director, so I'm good at communicating a visual idea through words.
Body language is the first impression someone will get of you.
Take initiative, learn new things.
Positive headspace.
Ask questions.
and listening can fast track you to doing well in your role.
Do a lot of research. Meet a lot of people and learn.
The secrets to success are about hard work.
Your knowledge of what you want to do is the most important thing before you start it.
Fantastic. Okay, so I've just finished off now. So basically your career starts now. Use every opportunity that you can possibly get involved in. If you've got no idea what you want to do, that is completely normal. What I would say is use the opportunities. So click on National Careers Week, the virtual fair, use Bite Size. So from year upper 3, that's available for everybody. Now there's a whole section on job inspiration, and there's all sorts of amazing, there's TikTokers, there's film stars, all sorts of videos where they talk about their experience, about what knowledge, about what courses they did, and how they got into the roles that they did. So there's some great inspiration there. And what I would say is use your careers lessons. Once you've got Unifog, use Unifog. It's the best, it's the worldwide leader in careers education as well. So you've got things like the jobs library, you've got careers library, you've got the subjects library, you've got MOOCs, massive open online courses that you can do. There's so much information on Unifog. So do have a word with me, email me, grab me in the corridor. I'm happy to help any one of you. And all I would just say, it's your world and you've just got to go for it. Thank you so much. Can we thank Mrs. Barham? I think she did a brilliant assembly there, absolutely fantastic. So much information for you to take in. So I'm now got just 2 notices actually demonstrating their skills. The lower 6 are selling donuts in the hub at break time tomorrow for Godfrey's Kitchen. That's their charity work. And good luck to all our STEM teams who are taking part in the Rotary STEM competition tomorrow. So there again, another example of how you can get involved. Reverend Bark, you've got some words for us?
Just a few. May God give us the qualities of hope, ambition and aspiration. Careers Week reminds us that we can use our lives to demonstrate our skills, to grow in our skills and contribute to making the world a better place. O God, we pray that hope, ambition and aspiration may be part of what we are. Amen.
Amen. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.